and he's ready to go. Noodle on his left, Jess on his right. Hey, hold up, don't start a fight. He's got you covered with all the sports. Don't fret, he's wearing shorts. It's time for Waking Jake in the morning, Waking Jake at night. Jake sucks.
Good morning, Bakers. What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Wake and Jake in the morning. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Probably a lot of you may have the day off. Juneteenth, now a federal holiday. Good. We're getting some of our content out today, but I hope you have the day off and appreciate it and what it's all about. We haven't talked in a while here. The chat is going. Since we last talked, there's been an NBA champion crowned. Your Golden State Warriors. Might give myself a little pat on the back. The hockey, Lord Stanley's Cup is being played for. There's one good game, one dud. Well, unless you're an Avalanche fan, you're having fun. Baseball is hot in the streets. My guy Fitzpatrick won his first major the other day. Golf is in this drama-filled world right now that if you're about that life, you're enjoying it. Let's start off by talking some of the baseball. BBD and I are hockey players now. Floorball, the sport of the future. Those of you that are on a tangled web, You have a pretty good idea what's going on. Might be some good warehouse games content coming soon. Teaser. Ad. I want to talk baseball with you guys. I want to get caught up. Before we do, probably do a chunk on Golden State and the Celtics and where everyone's at there. Obviously not going to dive in the hockey too deep. 7-0. It's not great. Wasn't the Lightning's game plan. I don't know what to do with the Lightning. I thought they were dominant. Last week in Jake, we had a hockey pod. We had Hockey Collective. Those guys on. Might have saw them later that weekend. They might have teed that up. Tom Ace, thanks to everyone live in the chat that is with us right now. Let's do baseball. We'll circle back on everything. East to west is what I decided. Sorry about it. On the East Coast, the New York Yankees just reeled off another win streak that came to a crashing halt yesterday on Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to everyone, by the way. To the fathers that listen or people that talked to their fathers yesterday. I don't know. Yankees, they have a .742 winning percentage. That is more than 100 points higher than Houston Astros, who have the second best record in the AL. They blew an 8-3 lead yesterday, so Blue Jays fans and the Blue Jays were excited about that. Good. They needed a win against the Yankees pretty badly. And the Yankees had just reeled off 9 in a row again, right? 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that tied into the Twin Series, Cubs, and then they swept the Rays. They swept the Jays, who, there was a thing going around for a while, like when were the Yankees going to play anyone? And if you operate on the Yankee part of the internet, you now know Yankee fans have turned that on their heads because these Yankees are just freakishly good. I did a radio hit with the fantastic Jessica Kleinschmidt the other day, and it was Oakland A's stuff, but it was mostly just like the Yankees are really good, huh? And yeah, it's every facet of the game, the pitching, the offense, and the defense. We did a Talking Yanks later last night as we were recovering from our hockey and some Father's Day stuff. Go listen to that. And, yeah, I mean, in Yankee land, the next the next coming conversations, as it's June 20th today, is the trade that they pushed the deadline back like a week or something this year, right? MLB trade deadline.
I think a couple days,
like
the
August
2nd
3rd or something. Yeah. Let's see. Trade deadline on July 30th. Is that official? August 2nd.
August 2nd feels right in my head.
MLB is keeping track of the latest free agent and trade rumors right here is approaching the 2022 trade deadline on August 2nd at 6 p.m. So, okay, quick math. July 20th is a month. Another week. 6 weeks out. 7 weeks out.
More or less.
7 weeks out from the trade deadline. With a little all-star break in between. For the Yankees, it's just what are they going to do? They have kind of an outfield position that is up for discussion. They have closer to 6 weeks.
I've got 6 weeks, 1 day. I think it's the Tuesday.
So 6 weeks, which, hey, in summertime, that shit happens fast. Pardon my French. For the Yankees, it's just will they do something in the outfield? Because right now, Joey Gallo and Hicks, they're getting some performances out of them lately. But
it's at the best it's been at any point this season. That's not saying a whole lot.
Right, but we just came out of a month where they both played some of their worst baseball. Gallo is fascinating to me. I think there might be a way to butter knife his stats that he's been playing a better brand of baseball. Let's see. Joey Gallo over the last 10 starts, 11 games, he has a 1.0 OPS. 4 homers in that time frame. Aaron Hicks has been playing a better brand of baseball this month, and then the other position is shortstop, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. He's grades out solidly defensively. There's some of the routine stuff that really hasn't been there. His speed has been solid. He does put the bat on the ball. The OPS is low. The Yankees have prospects that are elite-level shortstop prospects. I think, like every team, they're going to add some form of pitching, and that ties back into like a Joey Gallo or whatever they're trying to do there because the Yankees bullpen is a little thin right now, and we'll see if that gets tested. They're in a 20 games in 20 days span. Fun one tonight, by the way. Colin McClanahan. Buckle up for that, bad boy. In the East, Toronto, it was a pretty big win for them. A comeback win against the big bad Yanks to not get swept. They got punched a little bit. They lost Ryu. And I wonder, as I looked at the trade deadline, as I just Googled that, it said teams looking for pitching. Right now they are Barrios, Gossman, Stripling, Manoah, Kikuchi. Could add another arm there. Again, not the worst thing in the world. Their bullpen, I hate Adam Simber. Sorry. Just hate Adam Simber. Interested to see how aggressive the Jays are. Remember, before the season, trading for Matt Chapman, getting Gossman. The Yankees are a behemoth right now. I don't know if a team will get a real chance to come back in the East this year. It is baseball, but these Yankees are really, really good. The way they pitch, the way they're hitting. Meanwhile, in the rest of the East, the Tampa Bay Rays are a half game ahead of the Boston Red Sox. Think about that. Boston Red Sox, after their slow start, 36-31. The Rays are 36-30. Man, Boston has made themselves a part of the season. Good on them. Our guy, if you're not a Yankees fan, at the end of Talking Yanks, Jared Carrabis FaceTime me. First time that's happened. And he was being silly, but I think he wanted to mention that Nick Pivetta had been pitching. It's Pivetta, right? Who's been really good lately?
Yeah, since whatever the exact date was roughly a month now. He has the 4th best ERA. Alcantara has the best.
The Red Sox have some funny stats, man. They're beating up on left-handed starting pitching. That's interesting. Maybe something to circle for future Yankees-Red Sox series. They dominated the AL West. They went 19-7. Or that's all West Coast teams, which is funny because I tweeted out the link that way, and I don't normally. They're 7-14 against the East. Now, hey, maybe it ties into their early season struggles. Maybe it ties into the competition a little bit. Interested to see with those Red Sox. They scare me more than the Rays. I've kind of been on that since the start of the season. Maybe not since the start of the season. That might have just been a partial lie from me. I didn't know the best version of the Red Sox this year. I thought would be a better version than the Rays this year. I didn't know if we'd get the best version of the Red Sox. I still don't know if we will. But, and yeah, Tom Ace mentioned in the chat, you got to believe in something. The Red Sox have been really good since Alex Cora shaved his face. So that's pretty huge. And as Jacob Goodwin mentions in the chat, Red Sox have won 5 straight series. And that's one of the things I always come back to when talking baseball. Whether you're a 500 team or a struggling team, just keep winning series, and the rest of the stuff kind of figures itself out. You know, take it 3 games, 4 games at a time, and they've really gotten their season back on track. The AL East is tough, man. The Baltimore Orioles are 30-38. That is better than the Detroit Tigers. That's better than the Mariners.
Whoa.
Yikes. Seattle. What has gone on there? That's atrocious. You can't do that. The Mariners? What happened? That's awful. Damn. The Orioles just took 2 out of 3 from the Rays. The Rays have lost 5 of their last 6. They've lost their last 3 series. The Rays are missing some good guys, but I don't know. Their lineup's thinner than I feel like it's been in recent Rays history. And that when you're missing Wander Franco and Brandon Lau, that kind of makes sense. So we will see. They face the Yankees tonight. Let's go to the Central. I guess I'm doing AL. I'm an AL guy. In the Central Division, the Twins are 38-30. Okay. Good for you, Minnesota Twins. They've been in first place for a while. There is a team 1 game back from them. It's probably not the team you would have thought if I was saying the next team in the AL Central. The Cleveland Guardians. I've had very much a love-hate with the Cleveland Guardians. I've talked about how I kind of hate their front office and how they operate as a team. That being said, I had some Guardian fans reach out because I like a lot of their players. I love Jose Ramirez. They got a lot of young guys. I'm about that life. And that was kind of the best response I got from one of their fans was the Cleveland Guardians. I believe they have the youngest roster in baseball. Tito Francona, one of baseball's most beloved guys, is running the ship, which we like that. And they're getting some special performances. Emmanuel Clase, he's one of my favorite guys in the league. He throws a cutter over 100 miles per hour. Eli Morgan has kind of transitioned to the bullpen for them. He has been lights out for them. It's young guys everywhere. Our friend Tristan McKenzie, 11 starts to the tune of a 2.96 ERA. If you forget, he came over to our spring training house. He hung out and was awesome as a person could be. Watch him and Joe's McFly play the show together. It was awesome. The Guardians are a real part of this season. They're kind of maybe an underrated franchise in the sport so far. They've put together a winning roster in recent years. They went... I sneezed. I'm sorry. I take it back. We've talked about their pitching in recent years and what that's been about. they've got some young hitting talent that's doing it. Steven Kwan was the story early on. He's tapered off a little bit. Andres Jimenez has been good all year. He was in that Lindor trade. Josh Naylor has broken out so far this year. They keep calling up more guys. Oscar Gonzalez. Richie Palacios, who is the man, and you might be seeing on some JM content soon. He's hitting 290 for them. The OPS isn't there, but he's slapping it around. So it might be time to start drinking a little bit of Guardians Kool-Aid. I'm not sure the relationship I currently have with Guardians fans, but yeah, they win a series against the Dodgers. They sure did. They sure did. So watch out for your Guardians. Meanwhile, the Minnesota Twins, they drop a series to the Snakes, I believe. Whoops. Sorry about that. Interesting to see what goes on with them. They had a little cushion for a while. Will the White Sox ever turn it on? I thought they would, and they still preferred to not. They're 31-33. It's just, in the words, I know it gets kind of overused, but Joe Girardi, it's not what you want. It definitely wasn't. As the White Sox, they lost 2 out of 3 to the Astros, which I don't know what you do there. The Astros are dominating. If the Yankees weren't as good as they have been, the Astros would be much more of a storyline. And a lot of the statistics that the Yankees are dominating are in first place. The Astros are right behind them. Guy Joe's McFly brought that up this weekend. The White Sox, man, the juju just feels so off. Like the one game they won, it was Cueto, 7 shutout, which, again, he wasn't a part of this White Sox energy to start the season. I still think it gets going, but I don't know what you do about it. Who else do we need to mention? Rangers and Tigers split 4. It's kind of gross. Not about it. Royals take 2 out of 3 from the Athletics. My goodness. My goodness. That's tough. Starting to understand why Kleinschmidt asked me to be on the pregame show. That's tough. That's tough. Guardians took 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers. I mentioned that. The Red Sox took 2 out of 3 from the Cardinals. That's a good series win for them. I mentioned D-backs taking 2 out of 3 from the Twins. In the West, the other thing of note, I saw my guy Fayao mention this earlier. The Angels took 4 out of 5 from the Mariners. This was the AL West strugglers. Who is going to walk away with anything? One team had to win 3 out of 5, technically. Would one of the teams try to kind of flip the script on their season? And my Halos might have done that. They take 4 out of 5. That's kind of a season ender for Seattle for me. They have a worse record than the Orioles. What? They signed Cy Young, free agent Robbie Ray, who, by the way, I think he's been pretty solid for them. That's a disaster. That is an absolute disaster in Seattle right now. The Texas Rangers are up 3 games on them. Angels are up 3.5 games on them. I mean, Seattle, reach out. Are people... do people want Service fired? It's felt like Talking Baseball, which we're going live after this, has felt disconnected from the Mariners all year. And, man, that is El Brutal. El Bruto. Hey, let's talk some National League Baseball. And the National League is brought to you by Athletic Greens. AG1, you guys are familiar with it at this point. Whether from us or from anywhere else, these guys are so popular now. And the reason is they use the best of the best products. Sounds smart, right? I don't think every company's about that. Not every company's about that lifestyle. Using latest science and constant product iterations and third-party testing. That's how they've gotten there. 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, special blend of ingredients for your gut health, nervous system, immune system, energy, recovery, focus, aging, all the things. We just got a huge shipment here. Our guy Chris Rose may have been around this weekend. You may have seen that. He is a huge AG1 guy. 1 scoop of water every day. That's all it takes. And Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/Jake, athleticgreens.com/Jake to take ownership over your health. Pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. athleticgreens.com/Jake. Thank you, Athletic Greens. I am Athletic Greens. Let's go to the little brother league. Nobody says that. Nobody says that. That's not nice. Mets have taken 203 from the Marlins. They stand atop the NL East with still a nice little cushion. And they're playing a 4th game today. I didn't realize that. It was weird little wraparound series. Mets won the first 2. Marlins won Alcantara Day yesterday versus Bassett. The storyline in the East is still the Braves. They had their big kick. The Phillies, they're also 4 games above 500. They were middling for a while. They got their hot streak. Will these Mets be able to keep both of those teams kind of, a 5.5 game buffer is a really nice buffer. That's you can have a turd of a weekend and you're still fine. Oh, man, these Mets. They're still waiting for their big dogs to get back. Scherzer. Have we had any DeGrom updates?
I don't know about DeGrom. Scherzer, I believe this morning or last night, they said he's going on a rehab assignment. And I believe James McCann's going to catch him. So
Right.
We'll dual rehab.
He's on his way back. So Mets are still sitting pretty. They're 20 games over 500, man. What a series for the amazing, or what a start to the season for the amazing Mets. The Atlanta Braves, they actually lose 2 out of 3 to the Chicago Cubs, who had been dead in the water. That being said, if you're a Braves fan, I think you take some solace from the fact that those 2 losses are your team's only 2 losses in June. They're 15-2 in June this year. Might have to hit up Moylan again and see what the hell happened there. I mean, they lost a 1-0 game, so that just must feel kind of weird and fluky. The Cubs their bullpen is gonna get raided. I mean, the game they won 1-0, it went Keegan Thompson, 6 shutout. Good for you, kid. Happy for you. Michael Givens, Chris Martin, David Robertson. I think those 3 guys are bullpen guys you're probably familiar with that could end up in your team's bullpen pretty easily. Man, Charlie Morton with 7 shutout, the only run that they got one off Minter. That's tough. Sack fly. Wow. Atlanta's going to keep coming. And excited for it. I love their team. That's not really a take. Stop talking about it. What are BBD's fighting Phils about these days, huh? Girardi, we still like him. I referenced him earlier. He's not on the team. People might forget that. Phillies took 4 out of 5 from the Nationals. They had a 5-gamer themselves. And the Nationals took the last one. So did the Phillies reel off 14? Or let me see. No, they had 2 losses. So they had a 9-game win streak. Loss, win, loss. Marlins.
5 more in a row.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
14, 15.
So the Phillies, they're
15,
June.
17.
How about the Phillies and the Braves? The June teams, they're 15-3 in June. So the Braves are 15-2. The Phillies are 15-3. Good for both of those teams. I was about ready to write the Phillies off for this season. Who knows? I saw people kind of coming at us about the Phillies because we didn't care about them firing Girardi at all. Maybe it sparked something. Who knows? I don't. And I don't think a lot of us think it did. But hey, that's sports, right? Kinda. Go Phils. I don't know.
Bryce Harper's hitting like an MVP again. 'Cause he's really good. Kyle Schwarber had a big week. His numbers on the year are starting to look about where you'd expect.
Yeah, he might even have more than that if he keeps going.
Yeah.
Reeser's been solid this year. Castellanos really hasn't gone. It'll be interesting to see if that kicks in. Real Muto's been below average hitting wise. 31 now. I don't know. You get nervous with catchers sometimes.
Looks like the defense is at least still holding up, which at that position is important.
It's good.
Yankees' #1 team catching defense. We alluded to it last night. We looked at a bunch of position rankings.
Yankees have a couple positions they're pretty damn good at defensively.
#1 third base, essentially #1 second base, #1 catcher by a lot. Top 10 in left field somehow.
That's not bad. That's not bad, people. Okay.
Shortstop, they're not high.
Phillies and Braves, man. Phillies and Braves. The story in the NL Central, I keep saying it. I will continue to say it. I think we're lined up for a fantastic summer, and the Brewers may have found the right medicine they needed in the Cincinnati Reds. They had been struggling for a little while, and they sweep the Reds in 3 games. How about it, Brew Crew? Renfroe has a big series. Willie Adames with a couple homers. Brewers needed that in a bad way. They were on the struggle bus, man. And now they are tied 38-30, 38-30 atop the NL Central. Those teams, it's going to be a dogfight all summer long. I'm so excited for it. None of the other teams in the division can even approach them. Sorry, Cubs fans. Pirates are ahead of you by a game and a half. So I got nothing for you. So excited to see that play out. Who makes the deadline move? At the same time, I'll be rude to the Central. What does it matter? The Blue Jays are 2 games or a game better than those 2 teams. The Minnesota Twins have the same record of those 2 teams. 38-30. The Braves are a half game better after being maligned. Is that a word? For 2 months?
Maligned.
Maligned? Am I using it right?
Yeah.
Kinda. Didn't feel
I guess
right.
usually you have some sort of descriptor in front.
Am I thinking
often maligned or much maligned?
Am I thinking of benign? Can you use that there?
Benign is just like docile, harmless.
I think that's might have been what I meant. I don't know.
They've been benign.
Right.
Like
Until
maligned would be like they've been getting like shit on.
Okay.
Benign's more like they don't matter. Called the cops and they said that they're not even real people, kinda.
Doesn't matter. Brewers Cardinals play this week. That is exciting. Fire me up. But yeah, I guess Trev was on the Brewers Kool-Aid to start the season. Understandably so. They're pitching. The Cardinals, he's kind of been in on them. I guess when you look at records from around the league and deciding in your head what does it matter, the Jays have been better than those teams. The Atlanta Braves have technically been better than those teams. So come October, and I know it's been a complaint about Central divisions in previous years, interested to see where we stand. Interested to see where we stand on it. I think both of those teams are good franchises. And it's who will make the move. Or, the Cardinals have so many young guys that is Nolan Gorman going to be a story of playoff time? I don't know. It's the beauty of baseball. Out west, the Dodgers are a half game up on the Padres. The Dodgers, they faced the Guardians and they lost. We know this. Game 1 was 10 innings. Plesac versus Kershaw. A little bit of a pitcher's duel there. 1-1 into the 10th. Guardians winning on a sac fly. This was in L.A., and the Dodgers have been, kind of scuffling a little bit. Heendog with a start in this series. How about that? 5 innings, 2 runs, 1 earned run. And then San Diego, you guys know I love me some Padres. Father's Day weekend. They get swept by the Rockies. So, the 2 strong teams in the NL West are the 2 strongest teams. They kind of have duds of weekends at the same time. Feels like they've been on the same schedule a little bit when that has been happening.
Padres with the tough news yesterday. Machado out several weeks. That's scary. Musgrove on the COVID IL. This was in Colorado, which that does mean you do take it a little differently than losing to the Rockies on the road. But yeah, Padres, their starting pitching got rocked this series. It's in Coors. Hopefully you can just shrug it off and say, whoa, Coors Field. How about that place? The Machado thing, man, I think that's horrifying. He's been probably the NL's MVP up until this point of the season. Man. That's a big storyline. Because, especially with the Tatis news, and I think their offensive statistics, let me see where the Padres are standing. They're 6th in runs, so this is fun. The San Diego Padres are 6th in runs. They're 24th in homers and 25th in steals. 14th in batting average. So, hey, I guess when they're doing it counts. They've got a homestand, Arizona and Philly. I mean, if you take Machado out of this lineup, Profar, Cronenworth, Luke Voit had a good week. How about that guy? Miss him. He was fun. When he's right, Luke Voit is a lot of fun. Dude hits.
We will see how much the Padres get tested in the coming weeks. But big storyline there. And then behind them, the San Francisco Giants. They deserve more love. 37-28. Again, what I just said about Milwaukee and St. Louis, who we've talked about as World Series contenders. The Giants have a better winning percentage than them. And they just took 2 out of 3 from the Pirates, I believe. They are now having a pretty nice month of June, 10-7. I mean, when you compare that to the other teams, not special, I guess. I feel like I need more Giants takes besides Tyro Estrada being king of the world. Tyro hit a game-tying homer yesterday, and Jack Sawinski, a walk-off homer, his 3rd of the day. And by the way, your Pirates, who are 3rd in the NL Central, they're calling up O'Neal Cruz. Super prospect. Such a bad Jake term. Rodon gave the Giants 8 shutty in the first game. That dude deserves more respect on his name. Let me see his numbers on the year now. I think he's dialed it up. 13 starts at .284. There's a lot of those guys around baseball this year. Feels like it. Or maybe it's just the Yankees. Whoops. And I oop. Baseball today coming up in a little bit. James, John Boy O'Brien, Trevor, Specialty Plouffe, David, BBD Mendelson, and myself on the call. I'm excited. We had this big hockey tournament. We got sucked into it. Knowing the trade deadline is 6 weeks away, that's kind of a timeline. Baseball can be chopped up a bunch of different ways. You can chop it up 162 one-game series, as our guy Joe's McFly does. You can chop it up into 3 4-game sets. You can chop it up into homestands and road trips, months. Knowing we're a little over a month from the trade deadline, I mean, man.
You were like a week, 2 weeks from being able to like fully do deadline prep and research and excitement.
Be all in.
Moves might be happening.
Wilson Contreras. Some Mets rumors with him, but they also have their I don't know. I guess I haven't gotten there yet. Trevor Rosenthal is a free agent. Apparently he's posting stuff on Twitter of him throwing. I'm so excited for all those storylines. And we're a lot closer than I thought. That's some of the baseball. A lot more coming up. Let's talk a little NBA Finals. I'm not going to collect trophies, but I will pretend to collect trophies. The Golden State Warriors end up winning the series in 6. Good fortitude to win the series 4-2. I tried to be as level-headed as possible on this. I believed in the Warriors as a team. I think they had more scoring options. Not that that's everything in today's NBA. I tried to lay it out the best way possible after that game 5, where the Warriors win and Steph Curry throws up a dud. And I think I was in the right mindset. If Boston could come back home to Boston, win a game, and Steph Curry has another bad game, like there's your storyline. Going back to Golden State, Game 7, Curry after throwing up 2 duds. Talk about some pressure. It's not how it goes down. And when you get to replay the series, when hindsight is 20/20 for you, and after that, when Draymond is in the Boston bench talking shit, I think that was Game 5. Curry puts up 34 in Game 6, 12 of 21, 6 of 11, 3-point shooting, 7 assists, 7 rebounds. He gets his MVP, Finals MVP trophy that he probably already deserved, but just didn't happen. Draymond with a 12, and 8, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Guess what? You're right. If you don't like Draymond, he would not be good on a lot of other teams. Or great. He's great on this team. 42 minutes. You're going to get a couple duds offensively. He hits 2 threes in this game. Just kind of twisting the knife. Just a little bit. Otto Porter, 2 of 3 from 3. Andrew Wiggins, 4 of 9 from 3. Like Jordan Poole, 3 of 8. That was kind of the thing. The Golden State Warriors almost didn't have like a great 3-point shooting night. They somewhat get it in this one. They didn't shoot well from 2. They also shot 41.3% from 2. On the Boston side, Tatum, 6 of 18 for 13 points. Jaylen Brown had a big game, 34, 5 of 11 from 3, 12 of 23. I mean, Big Al Horford kind of showed out again, 19 and 14, 6 of 8 shooting. Seeing what Big Al did in this series, that was pretty cool. They ran Robert Williams out there for a lot of this game. Marcus Smart, popular conversation in Boston these days. 4 for 12, 9 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds. It's always funny seeing the aftermath of this. Golden State is going to be losing a lot of their veteran kind of contributors this year. Even, Gary Payton, too, came back and was given 20 minutes. Kevon Looney, 22 minutes, 0 points, 7 boards, baby. Grab them, Kevon. They're going to be so fun to see the development next year of Kuminga and Moody. Can Poole take even another step? Man, they might be set up for another special period if one of those guys can take a leap. If a Kuminga Moody, Wiseman. How much have we not talked about him? He's supposed to be like a special dude. If one of those threes takes a real leap, or even if two of them take mid leaps, Golden State is just going to be around it. And Steph Curry's so special. I love any debate with him. I was laughing the other day. Our office had a big debate about Paul Pierce in the NBA Pantheon. Someone in our office, whose name won't be named, was adamant Paul Pierce is a top 25 NBA player ever. I'd have to really put all the names on paper, but I do not believe so. Heated discussions. Steph Curry, man, wherever you kind of want to put him, I'm interested. I'll hear you out on anything, because he's now has 4 titles. I mean, people are going to look back at this one. Klay was broken for most games as he was coming off his Achilles stuff. You get the Andrew Wiggins game, and he looks solid in this series, and I've made my comparisons about him and the bad boy Pistons tapping in. I was blanking to the guy's name. Detroit Pistons, bad boys. That's such a bad Google search. Such a bad Google search. Oh, I just forgot about Rick Mahorn. Anyways, Susan. Like, I think people are going to look back at this Steph one and say, not only does he get the MVP, but Draymond, people were looking at him as a joke after some of these games. You know, Wiggins, yeah, the breakout performance, but it's still kind of Andrew Wiggins. Klay Thompson was not himself. I think this might be Steph's most impressive one. I mean, the Celtics on the other side will probably end up not being looked upon as maybe some of the other teams played in the NBA Finals. Tatum, I don't know. I don't know where people are at with him. He ends up fading away this series. Maybe this is a big moment for him. I had been tough on him previous to this series. I understood it a little more after watching some of it. Maybe this is his MJ get in the gym series, come back differently, because he really struggled to score in the paint. He shot well from 3 in the series, but in the paint, he was bad. And I will admit this, I don't listen to a lot of Bill Simmons anymore. I did go listen after the game 5 to see where his mental headspace was at, because, I mean, I think Boston thought they were going to get a title. After
especially after up 2-1.
Up 2-1, you know, and I think
got one in Golden State.
I think the stats said if you win that game 3 and go up 2-1, you win like 82% of the series. And I think I said that stat, and I think I told you I was going Warriors in 6 after starting off this series. Warriors in 5. I'm going to take half credit for Warriors in 5 because that game 1 fourth quarter is still kind of BS. It's obviously not BS.
It still happened, but like
Celtics went nuts. I think Golden State rolled for 3 quarters, and they thought that's what was going to happen this series, and they got punched in the mouth in that fourth quarter. And kudos to Boston, who'd been a streaky team. You know, some of the numbers in that game were ridiculous. They made 7 straight shots or whatever it was. I think it was even crazier than that. NBA is always fun because you never know how the offseason shuffle is really going to go down. You know, I saw, sometimes ESPN, I just don't know. They said all this Boston team was missing was a backup point guard, and one of the people said the answer is Rajon Rondo, which I don't know. I don't think that's the difference for them. But they've got a young head coach that they seem to like. They have Brown and Tatum. Those guys seem to have Jaylen Brown. You could tell from his game he puts in that work. Tatum, I mean the same. All these guys put in the work, but it's trying to go to another level. And like I talked about with Ja Morant, is this going to be the one that makes them go, okay, I need to even find another gear. I need to get more powerful. Because I think that's going to be the conversation around Tatum. And, he had a lot of missed layups and shots close to the basket that it seemed like the physicality got to them. And that's what was blowing some of the Boston guys' mind, that Golden State was playing without a rim protector. Like, Draymond is still talented defensively, but there's not a guy that was on the court for them that was blocking shots. I should say a more traditional. Robert Williams, 5 blocks in this game. Although he's probably, if you did best rim protectors in the league, he has entered the conversation fully. Golden State is a dynasty. I love it. I love Steph Curry. I love Kerr. I love what Draymond's about. I understand all your conversations about him. But if you don't think he's absolutely perfect for Steph and Clay, and remember, what was it? Was it game 2 or was it I think it was game 2 when Draymond basically got into a fight with every Celtic player. Like, that's exactly what these guys need. That's what Curry and Clay need. Like, these guys need to shoot and operate and not. The further they get away from your head and the further Draymond is in there, like, that's when you lose the war. And that's what happened. Feo, you mentioned, obviously the experience of these Warriors is huge. And I need to find the guy's name again because I'm blanking on it. Detroit Pistons 90 roster. Such a bad search. Because I already did this on Wake and Jake. I always just blank on this guy's name. So they win in 90. And they've got Vinny Johnson. Mark Aguirre. Again, tell me, people that are still consuming a ton of sports stuff, Mark Aguirre and Andrew Wiggins, how there's not more comparisons. Joining a well-respected, somewhat dynasty team in the Bad Boys. He was the 1-1 overall pick. Same with Wiggins. He was on some Dallas teams putting up big numbers. He came over to Detroit. The role got reduced a little bit, but he's still a guy with that talent. Like, 1-1 talent does not grow on trees. And I think even that one game, the Wiggins game, while Curry throws up a dud, if you're Boston, that's got to haunt you. For Golden State, I think it was game 1 going to haunt them. That fourth quarter, and then it turns out not. So you can view series in a ton of different scopes. And I told you throughout this series in the best non-confident way, if you think you know what's going to happen, you didn't. You didn't know if Tatum was going to pull something special out of his butt. If I told you in game 6 in Boston that you were going to get 34 out of Brown and Horford was going to do what he was going to do, I bet you would have taken Boston. Because if you got like a 22 night out of Tatum, I think that brings you home. They did not. This Warriors team and franchise is special, kind of top to bottom. And I think it's funny. We had a lot of conversations over the last couple days because we were hanging around sports people, and I think it's funny that they are pretty beloved. I think they got to the point of hate when KD was there, but then it kind of reset. Between the injury years for Clay and kind of retooling this team, the clock reset and everyone kind of had that sports fan, let's see if they can do it again.
And they got to be fairly singularly focused on KD. So good for the other guys, the way the dice rolls there.
And then, yeah, man, that's basketball especially gets so wrapped in the all-time talk. Like, in baseball, you can say, like, Mike Trout might be the best player ever. And it kind of doesn't get into, like, bar argument conversation. Because we don't know how the rest of the story unfolds. Like, Trout's been really good. It's been cool to watch. Bonds is crazy good. There's stories there. Ruth was great. Like,
one guy can't carry a team.
you almost can't compare. It's not apples to apples. It's very much apples and oranges. Like, comparing Mike Trout and Babe Ruth, good luck. Babe Ruth was a guy that, like, prided himself on, he was a larger-than-life human that, like, drank, ate horrible, like.
Yeah. Played at a time when groups of people weren't allowed to play.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Some of that, too.
a lot of different ways you could go with any baseball conversation that it's really tough to compare, dudes. It's really hard.
Style just changes.
Basketball, I mean, yes, things have changed rapidly in recent years between three-point shooting and comparing some statistics and things like that, sure. But the way it ends up looking when LeBron played or MJ played, or even if we're keeping it in tighter generations, like LeBron and Kevin Durant, physical specimens in different ways with better strengths and weaknesses. LeBron, I think, clearly gets a nod, but Kevin Durant probably has an argument as, like, the best scorer ever. A 7-footer that handles like a point guard and shoots in the Curry arena. Like, that being said, we always come back to basically like Steph Curry. If Steph Curry was in LeBron's body and did all of the same things, like, would we say he's the best player ever? I don't think so. But would he be in more like all-time starting fives? Probably.
Would he be a more consensus top 10?
I think a lot
Probably.
of people. I think a lot of people that are smarter in basketball than I am said his defense, which if go back to some of those Cleveland series where like he was the target, like literally their whole offensive goal was to get a one-on-one versus Steph Curry. I think that was very different. I think his defense was strong, and he's a guy he looks undersized. Steph Curry, compared to what Steph Curry used to look like he's yoked up. And he's supposedly part of the reason remember, he used to be injury prone. He's not anymore. And apparently his workouts are legendary. He's got like the strongest core. Like, people genuinely say he's got one of the strongest cores of any NBA player to ever do it. I don't know what you do with it. If I was making an NBA all-time team, I think I might want Steph Curry on it. Have you seen anyone? Have you been more confident in anyone shooting the basketball ever? Mm-hmm. No. And by the way, the passing's electric. The handles are electric. The defense, I can understand you're being mid, but maybe I can get a little defensive help on my all-time starting 5 team.
Everyone else is doing their job. The effort on defense has never been a question.
It's never been that. And, like, the steals have been there.
I mean, you see it on the offensive end to be 34 years old and be able to play a game that's predicated so much on running around people. And
I mean, I would probably be an outlier. I guess, again, basketball just becomes complicated now with the 3-point shot, because I've always been a Shaq would be my center on top 5 teams, and I think people hate that. But just how dominant he was. Like, go look at Shaq highlights. It doesn't look right. And some of the guys he's doing it on are like Patrick Ewings and I know Dikembe offensively won't be on anyone's all-time team, but as a defensive big man, he sure was. And
you're making an all defensive first team. Historically,
look at how David Robinson is built. Shaq was so. I don't know. Maybe I'm the wrong guy to have that conversation about. Maybe that'll be a fun Wake and Jake one day when we want to get a little clicky. But good for Golden State, man. I think it's good for the NBA. I think Jordan Poole. You know, I don't know the full story, but if I had to guess, and I said this on here, I would guess Curry, Clay, and Kerr and Draymond, very much Draymond too, said, if you do this, you will be successful in the NBA. And it looks like he's done that. You know, he made another big, like, half-court shot that was huge. Huge in this series. It went from the Boston being ahead going into the fourth quarter to them being down. I'm excited to see even more Golden State. I wonder if they start drawing more hate or if people just appreciate older Curry, Thompson, and seeing what they get from the young Kuminga and Poole and maybe Moody, maybe Wiseman. I think you should enjoy it too, unless you're a Celtics fan and you're probably sad. You're probably sad. That's kind of a wrap on the NBA. NBA draft comes up soon. Thursday night is the NBA draft, huh? Mm-hmm. I like that for them.
Good time.
They've definitely tightened that up in recent years. Well, they did. They've always done the lottery. When's July 4th? I feel like NBA draft used to be more around there. That'll be fun. I've started to get my NBA draft research on a little bit, and it's the top part of the draft is a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And NBADraft.net. Here's a little Talking Jake stuff. Yeah. NBADraft.net is my favorite website on the internet.
We've been frequenting that website for a couple years.
It kills me. I mean, some of their player comparisons are hilarious. Like, you'll see the 5 and 6 picks in the draft, and the 5th pick will be like, NBA comparison is Clyde Drexler. And you're like, all right, like, Clyde Drexler potentially at the 5 pick? Like, he was kind of an all-time guy. And then you'll see, like, all right, the 6 pick player comp, it'll be like James Posey. And you're like, well,
I don't know who that is.
I mean, James Posey was solid, but this is a 6 pick in the draft. And then you go to 7, and it'll be like a Kevin Durant light. And you're like, guys, what are we doing? I've always wanted to get in touch with them. Maybe I will. Got some clout now. Because I have no idea who runs that site.
Well, they've got their projected 6th player, their NBA comp is Otto Porter / Michael Porter Jr. Got some fun duels, and those are 2 Porters. Otto Porter's also a Porter Jr., I believe.
I need to screenshot that and send that to a group of friends. The fact that they went double Porter on the NBA comp. Like, I think they know that there's like a brand of comedy to their website. Like, okay, no, I can't get lost in this website. It's my favorite website on the internet. Go to NBADraft.net. Check it out. Because I think they are good, and I think they accidentally have a brand of comedy that they have no idea about. But I also think they're really good.
Check out some 2023 mocks as well.
We'll probably talk about this a little bit on the midweek episode. We'll see. Draft Thursday night. I love a draft. I love a draft. GeoGuessr just came out. The people are excited about that, and you should be. What else do I have for you guys? Hockey, I'm sorry. Like, let's find out if it's a series. Again, we were with some hockey people, and they were excited to watch the game. 7-0. Yikes, it was 4-0 early. It's heading back to Tampa. We'll see. Again, this Tampa team won me over in a way, and I think the consensus was they kind of don't care. Like, 7-0 doesn't affect their brains at all. Like, they're going to go back to Tampa and try to win at home. I know that sounds blatantly obvious. But, yeah. They, man. I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited to watch tonight, 8 p.m. The hockey. We'll see if it becomes more of a storyline. But I don't know. Let's start wrapping up, BBD. We have a Talking Baseball coming up in a little bit. Need to tighten up for that. A lot of stuff on John Boy Media Network. Warehouse Games finale, or playoffs, not the finale.
Wild card game tonight?
Yeah, the play-in game. Jozo's versus Nikki Cass, I believe, right?
Obvious.
That'll be good.
I'm in the crowd.
You're in the crowd?
I think I was there for that one.
I think you were too. Bakers, I've been asking you guys to bake the algorithm. I think we're, summer's tough. I think everyone gets a lot of stuff going on. We did something a little different last episode. We want to talk some puck with you guys. It's Nick from the Hockey Collective, right?
Yes, we had Nick.
Nick and Shebs, they operate that, but we had Nick on, and we dove into the Stanley Cup, and I think some of you enjoyed it. Some of you aren't hockey people, and that's fine. Some comments on last episode. Andrew Hill, another great ep with the yoked Jake Storielli. Bicep egg emoji. Blue Jays are getting hot from Matthew. Their entire lineup is 100 OPS plus. Is over 100 OPS plus. That's interesting. That's why there's a few bicep comments because I was in the Yukon. I was in the Yukon Huskies jersey. I forgot about that. That's my bad. Everyone. Thank you guys. Mixed it up a little bit with the episode. Tried something new, so hope you guys enjoyed it. It brings us to Bro of the Night. Bro of the Night goes out to a standout performer, someone you should be talking about in the sports world. I usually do this after golf tournaments, I guess, and it's kind of the beauty of golf and kind of the beauty of the bruh. Fitzpatrick and Zalatoris were linked up coming down the U.S. Open final. Zalatoris is a young, up and rising golfer. Same with Fitzpatrick, man. Golf has a ton of talent. If you're in the golf world, you're loving it right now. The live stuff, LIV tour. If you're into drama, if you're looking into getting into golf, it's a good time. I'll give it up to the young British bloke, Matt Fitzpatrick. Kind of tough name. You wish it was a little less generic. 27 years old. He won $3.1 million this weekend playing golf. So Zalatoris, part of the reason he gets a bruh, and it's really rude. He finished second with Scotty Scheffler, who, by the way, what Scotty Scheffler is doing as like as the best player in the world, he is there every time. Tough for Zalatoris. He's going to get one. He's 25 years old. He still walked away with, is it 1.5? Yeah. They'll be all right. Go watch some golf when you get a chance. BBD, you got a bro? Three?
Yeah, a couple different ways that could have gone here, and I think this guy's going to get talked about a little bit on Talking Baseball soon. And he's been talked about before. It's Mike Trout. Had like the biggest slump of his career. Just so the people know, he's all the way back. His last 11 games, 368, 442, a 1-dot slug. So just a hair under a 1.5 OPS in that period. His OPS on the season's back up above a 1 dot by quite a bit. Dude's back, really good. Beat the Mariners because that's what he does. Just really good. Really good.
BBD, I might have something controversial right now. Is our studio a comfortable temperature?
Right now it is. And it doesn't feel like stale.
I mean, that could be a massive development. Speaking of massive developments, everything on John Boy Media. I mentioned Warehouse Games, the one-on-one league playoffs are must-watch. Go check those out. The Yankees stuff, Talking Yanks, Pinstripe Strong. Times are still good. John Boy Jake TV. The chat got excited about it. If you're not watching GeoGuessr, you're just straight up missing it.
Start guessing.
Straight up missing it. Talking Giants. Little funky season for them, but that's going to be going soon. Trade deadline football. Talking baseball coming up. Chris Rose rotation. Alec Manoah. Jay's stud. Pretty cool. So much on John Boy Media Network. Make sure you're watching it. I love you guys. We'll see you back here midweek. Let's go. Let's go, Yanks.